Oh man, never really know how to fill the void to begin the stream here. Before people come in, what am I even doing? Am I even performing? Why is it so bright? Close the blinds. Jesus Christ! Stop. There we go. That's better. Never really know what to say. Do I talk to the people? Do I make like a joke? What do I do? What? How do I begin? How do I start? Well, I guess I can start by saying I love you all so much. It's so happy to see you. So happy to see you. Here, hold on, wait. Whoa. No. There we go. That's a little bit better. Wait, why is it? There we go. Nice. We did it. High energy stream today, folks. I just ate a lot of chicken nuggies, okay? A lot of chicken nuggies, okay? A large, one might even say excessive number of chicken nuggies. If I had to guess, I would probably say probably 20. In excess of 20 chicken nuggies. It's a Sunday. What can I say? Listen, I'm treating myself as I am treating myself now by spending time with you. Hello. Glad to hear you liked it, Saxy Jaxy. What sauce? Unfortunately, we need to go grocery shopping. I didn't have much in the way of sauces. Normally, with chicken nuggies, I use hot sauce and I use sriracha with Greek yogurt. But this time, we didn't have the sriracha Greek yogurt. I just used ketchup and barbecue sauce. I know. As one who also partakes in chicken nuggies, I was not happy to sink down to that low, but it was a necessity. I wanted those nuggies, and you can't eat nuggies without some kind of sauce. Chicken nuggets taste exactly the same, except no vegan chicken nuggets taste. Oh God, vegans are insufferable. Listen, I love you. You know what else feels just the same as the t-shirt you're wearing right now? One that was ethically sourced and made in America with no slave labor, okay? Get that fucking Taiwan shirt off your back, okay? You're currently you are currently profiting from the slave labor of children, all right? Nathaniel Esposito, thank you so much for the $10, comrade. Hell yeah, first name. Thank you so much for the $5. I hope you enjoy the books. Why are Jews genetically distinct from the European population where they're from? They're not. Unless you mean very specific Jewish ethnicities. You realize Judaism is a religion, right? What do you mean? What, do you think, like, if I convert to Judaism that I'm going to have an ethnically distinct lineage? You were talking about Ashkenazi Jews or some of the other, like, ethnic Jewish groups that have been around for a long time. And there's a very simple answer for it. The answer for it is because they didn't come from Europe. They came, from Semitic parts of the world. And because they were so ruthlessly discriminated against for thousands of years, they formed very tight enclaves and generally kept to their own. Even today, Jewish culture, at least where I grew up in Los Angeles, was very, very, very insular. In large part because older Jews are very distrustful of non-Jewish people, like swiping up their sons and daughters. They have a culture that's pretty much entirely dominated by exploitation and brutality. It's pretty bad. Whew. Mythaldu, thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub, comrade. Nest Terrace, so sorry this has to be the first stream you're catching live. They're normally much better than these ones. Just getting by without my studio. It's tough out here. Guilome, thank you so much for the 10 Canadian. I will buy some more chicken nuggies. Have you seen that Google Maps and Apple Maps remove Palestine? No, I didn't see that, Wolf. Jesus Christ, that's grim. Oof. That's a death knell for your part of the world when fucking Google Maps removes your fucking territorial name. Tendies better than nuggies? Usually I'd agree, Credit Vixen. And Aiden Harris with the $10, thank you. How do you convince a conservative that their points are wrong? Because they seem to be very stubborn. I've had a conservative call me closed-minded as fuck when I try to explain it to them. That's a very individualistic question. It very, very, very much depends on who you're talking to, the circumstances of the conversation. There's no way I can just sort of offer general advice there, apart from the rhetoric streams I've done in the past. All right, we got some fat questions coming out through donos already, and we haven't even started talking about what I wanted to talk about. Oof. I don't doubt it'd be Club of Awesomeness. Thank you for the $5. Under anarchism, how do we prevent individuals from further exploiting the environment and causing irreparable damage? Well, do you know what anarchism is? Because I'd have to like explain the whole superstructure. The goal would be that there would be organizations that would have an interweaving set of responsibilities and social obligations that would have a sort of jurisprudence over any institution capable of damaging the environment. Anarchism does not mean no government. Everyone gets to do what they want. Just found out my cousin was shot and killed. What the fuck, Malindays? Jesus Christ. Well, stay safe. My God, thank you for the $5. I'm really sorry to hear about your cousin. I don't really have a... Wait, did I just freeze up for a second? Sorry, I pressed the wrong button several times in a row. Deliberately. To get deliberately to try and move my way out of that horrible thing you just donated to me. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate? Dark chocolate. Anyone who answers milk chocolate is a fucking child. Anyone who prefers milk chocolate to dark chocolate is literally like a fucking apple-cheeked, SpongeBob-voiced motherfucker, okay? Absolutely. All right? I do, Red Alexander. Thank you for the $5. I like your YouTube, Abby. I do. I like it very much. YouTube chat agrees with me. Okay, we have to listen. In order for me to talk about what I wanted to talk about, we have to be a little bit quiet on the donos for a little bit. Okay, can we do that? I love you too, Jess Reed. My last song, V3, with the $5. You have to become something bigger than a YouTube content creator. You are a voice. Oh. Don't assign too much responsibility to me here, okay? I'm trying to do the YouTube stuff much as I can, all right? Listen, if I ever get big enough that I can do a media outlet thing, then we'll do that, okay? I would love to listen, you don't need to encourage me to have the greatest possible amount of the greatest possible amount of reach on this platform. Jack Attack LP with the $5. Bad Empanada's doing his first stream. It's going good, and someone brought you up, and he said he'd be willing to talk to you sometime. Love you both. Wait, Bad Empanada'd be willing to talk to... Wait, isn't Bad Empanada like psychopathically, whatever the opposite of in love with me is? Hates me? I remember Bad Empanada went like crazy on Reddit before, shit-talking me. But I'd be down to talk with Bad Empanada because we both hate Caleb Maupin. I'd be okay with that, yeah. Pee-pee poo-poo, Eamon Dolly. Okay, we need to chill with the fucking donuts. We're reading these quickly. Dude, it wasn't removed from Google Maps. It's just shown as disputed. Well, David Kohler, that thus shows the fucking limitations of the phone live streaming format. I'm so sorry. Somebody donates to me, hey, Vosh, did you know Thing X? And I'm like, whoa, Thing X? Haha. And then someone else donates, dude, Thing X isn't even fucking real. Get your fucking head checked, you piece of shit. I'm just on my phone. I'm just on my phone. I'm sorry. I'm on two phones, actually. I can see you too, V.GG. I'm keeping my eye on you people. I'm trying my best over here, all right? Listen. Yeah, Dollar Official, I agree. British people are terrible. Thank you so much for the £10. No, it's okay. Listen, we're all terrible together. We're almost done with these donuts. Then we're going to talk about what I want to talk about, okay? No problem, Mariano. Sorry nobody in your community is taking COVID seriously. And Marcus Plenty with the incredibly kind $20. Hey, just wanted to say thanks for making the 1350 video. It's one of the best breakdown of problems videos I've ever seen Leftist do. And I love how you paralleled the problem black people face to those of the Irish. Yeah, this is what people call like the exclusionary condition of whiteness, you know? I'm white. People consider me white. When they look, I have never not been treated white in my entire life. Maybe like some Nazi would look at me and measure my skull and go like, well, actually. But everyone treats me white, which is, great for me, makes my life easier. Addie had me like, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. And I'm treated as white ubiquitously. But I'm Irish-Polish. 100 years ago, neither Irish people nor Polish people were really meaningfully considered white. Now, nothing genetically has changed about Irish people and Polish people in between now and 100 years ago. I'm pretty sure reasonably we're probably genetically very similar. But if you look at me now today, I'm undeniably white. I even have like reddish hair. Like I'm pale as this is the tannest part of my body, my fucking face. The rest of it just gets paler the farther down you go. But the point that I'm trying to get at here is that tying in modern racism to the exclusion Irish, Italian, Eastern European people experienced in the past is an excellent way of reminding oneself of the arbitrarity of current racial boundaries. Everything people say today about how Hispanic people and black people could never integrate, they're prone to criminality, they have lower IQs, they said the same fucking thing about Irish and Polish and Italian people. The exact same fucking things. Easily. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think this was done in the 1950s. There was actually a groundbreaking piece of literature written by an English scientist who was attempting to conclusively demonstrate that the IQ of the Irish folk was inferior to that of the British folk. Because you see, at the time in the 1950s, the Irish and the British did not have the same you know, friendly, warm, familiar relationship they have today. And back in those days, the English largely considered the Irish inferior. They wrote a book after gathering data, and that book found, after comparing large swaths of data, that the Irish had on average an IQ 30 points lower than the average Englishman. Now, the difference of 30 points is extraordinary. That is the gulf in intelligence between that of the average resident of the United States and that of some of the most desperately impoverished sub-Saharan African countries. Of course, this was celebrated at the time. It was treated as conclusive evidence of the genetic inferiority of the Irish. But that researcher later came under fire for the alleged veracity of their work. And when the same study was done just a couple decades later, that gap disappeared completely. The same groups, the same ethnic disparity, and in a few decades, it vanished. Everything race realists say today about black people, Hispanic people, they have said in the past about people like me, people who are now fully integrated into the meshwork and acceptance of whiteness. In 50 years, Hispanic people, I think, will be considered white in the United States of America. I think that the distinction right now between whites and Hispanics, we already have a term, non-Hispanic white. I mean, we already acknowledge the blurriness of this line. Hispanic people are, after all, the descendants of the indigenous people of the Americas who were raped by, white colonizers from Europe. So there's ethnically speaking, even there's interplay there. These categories are so arbitrary. I do believe... Have you seen Sean's video on race and IQ, on the bell curve? Have you seen Sean's video? Excellent video. It's my favorite video from him, by far. But the thing that I find funniest about it is the fact that he reiterates, over and over, that Charles Murray, the junk researcher who wrote the bell curve, when faced with repeated reminders that his arguments didn't line up, the evidence just didn't align properly with the conclusions he was saying, he would keep saying the same thing: history will vindicate me. That was always his line. Oh, sure, right now the data doesn't show this, but give it a little bit of time. They'll find some missing variable. They'll do some extra tests. They'll genetically decode the brain, and I'll be proven right. And it's been 30 years. 30 years. Not a single thing that he predicted then would be true by now has come true. He will die with all of his predictions and claims left unverified. I really need to do my race and IQ stream. I've been holding it off for a year now, and I have all the data. Oh, I really should. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. All right, we'll get to that later. That's not for a phone stream. That's for I need documents in front of me. I need data to cite. Yes, Shrek's MLG Christmas. Thank you so much for the 15. It could happen here was an extremely concerning piece of media. Samir Segal, I do want to talk about the coup of the Labour Party in the UK, but I definitely want to do that when I have data and research in front of me, or like news articles at least, not over the phone. Mary Beckett, thank you so goddamn much for the $5. I'm really happy to hear you enjoy my content. This is why I like YouTube chat donors, dude. This is why I like the super chats. My website chat fucking is always shit like, ask me a really complicated question, or shout out my thing, or here's a really funny joke. YouTube chat, their donations are just like, hey, I really like your content, man. Wow. Love you guys too. IQ was kind of BS. The average IQ of India is 80, yet they have the highest family income in America. Well, that's because only the wealthiest Indians get the opportunity to travel here to America and make their living here. There's a selection bias there. But the average IQ of industrial countries goes up with time because more people are exposed to education, they're given better nutrition, they're exposed to better family environments. IQ is highly modular. It is very not like an intrinsic thing. When will your studio be finished? Never, Patrick. I've succumbed. I've gone native. I like the phone streams too much. Hey, I have a sister who supports Bernie, but also likes flat tax and hate progressive tax because flat is fair. What do I say to her? I don't know. That's like a hardline philosophical thing. What do you say to that? How do you support Bernie? Wait, Bernie Sanders could only fund his policies through a progressive tax. You can't have a robust welfare state on a flat tax. It's literally impossible. How do you? I've never. How do you? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe like drop something on her head while she's sleeping and see if she wakes up thinking differently. Maybe there's like a mechanical error going on somewhere, like some synapses got misaligned. Don't actually do that, of course. That would be very, very uncivil of you. Ben Shatpiro with the incredibly generous $50. Holy shit, comrade. Collaborate with Jimmy Snow, please. I don't know who that is, but that person has a very distinct and evocative name, Jimmy Snow. That sounds like a Bond villain. Well, Jimmy doesn't sound like a Bond villain. Jimmy Snow, it sounds like a Bond double-crossing friend who's actually a triple crosser, so he ends up being on Bond's side, but then he dies. I have no idea who that is. Jimmy Snow is literally wholesome? Yeah, sure. I've been on Reddit. I would love to interact with some wholesome 100 Big Chungus content creators. Vosh, you mean you didn't read my yesterday donut? Yeah, Session Amara, I'm really sorry. Blue super chats, so ones that are less than $5 USD converted, don't actually show up for very long on the screen here on my phone. Gotcha, Noah Procco. Happy to hear you're proud of who you are, and thank you for the $5. Jimmy with the $5. If race realists think low IQ populations ruin society, why don't they advocate for long-term investment in nutrition and education instead of displacing? You fucking well know why. Never heard a person who was concerned about the IQ gap ever talk about whites with a low IQ. I don't know about that one. Hey, God damn it. Wait, hold on one second. I get so sniffly just looking down at the camera. And I thought Hyena would be up and would be bringing tissues, but it took too long, so now I'm going over here. Doing live streams is just like doing fucking band rehearsals or any other bullshit fucking school event that you would just stand around for hours at a time. It really makes you need to pee. That's just how it goes. Whew. All right. What are we talking about? Tell a Polish joke? The fuck is a Polish joke? I have no idea what the fuck that means. You mean like in the like in Polish, or? He's not even looking at the side chat. Yes, I am, Puff Kick, you know. I'm always looking at you, specifically. You better watch your fucking mouth. If I ever hear you bad-mouthing me or this stream again, that's going to be the last fucking time you fucking type something into my goddamn website chat. You hear me? All right. And we're back. All right. I can't Okay, you people are donating. Stop! We need to go through these quickly. What the fuck is wrong with you people? I have to do these quickly. Or they disappear. Sampar, thank you for the $5. Yes, I'll talk about Kanye shortly. Stonebutt with the $5. Don't collaborate with Jimmy Snow, Mr. Atheist. Oh, Mr. Atheist. I didn't know their actual name. He was complicit in the theft of the non sequitur show. I never really fully understood that drama, to be honest. Born to Ready with the incredibly kind $10. What do you think of Biden's tax plan that's more conservative than Bill Clinton's in the 90s? He won't tax anyone with 400K or less income. Clinton in the 90s said 100K. You mean won't tax anyone additionally? I want to do a whole video on Biden's proposed tax plan. I mean, it's not going to be great. I'm not exactly a big fan of Biden, but I mean, it's going to be better than Trump, so that's all I got to, you know? Imperial Squid, thank you for the 10 pounds. Yo, Vosh wanted to celebrate with everyone. I got a first in my degree and got accepted into a PhD program. Nice. Also, any advice for math folk to help progressive causes? Yeah. Get laid so you can have children that will get into fucking more interesting and useful majors so they can be progressives, okay? That's my suggestion to you, all right? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. Seriously, though, good luck with your PhD. As a soft science major myself, I can't entirely relate, but I love you, and you put in a lot of work, and I think you're going to do great. Jonathan Waiwu, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate that. Oh my God. Dumb Nerd with the $10. Thanks for being one of the best content creators on YouTube, pulling out of fashion, the content I have for you to set up. Also tell Mikey I love him. Mikey, I love you. Thank you so much for the $10, comrade. I really appreciate that, and I'm happy to hear you're with us now, you know? Rafael Elmada, thank you so much for the €5. Jesus Christ. I'll keep trying these damn phone streams. I'll try to get back to real stream soon. Holy shit, you guys. You need to stop fucking donating or I'm going to ignore all of you. I will end stream early just to spite you fucking donos. Terizzle, thank you so much for the $5. Matthew with the incredibly $10. Never knew another gender abolitionist till I watched you. How many of this are there? I think there are a lot of people whose views are generally aligned with gender abolitionism. They just don't really have the language to describe it. That's two, Jimmy Brunson. Thank you so much for the $5. We have the benefit of honesty on our side. Jules S., thank you so much for the $10. Really happy to hear you, your brother, and your boyfriend are all enjoying the stream and feel you've benefited from it. I get stupider every day I do these streams because I am transmitting my knowledge to you. That is, of course, how it works. Devin Harrison with the $10. Your content is literally helping thousands make it through this hell. Love you, man. I really appreciate that, comrade. But why do thousands when you can do tens of thousands? There's always a lot more work to be done. Thank you. Jamil White with the incredibly kind $20. I think you'll have an interesting / good convo with Jimmy Snow. He's a sweetie. Also hypers to the fact I got my COVID project in the mail yesterday after 3 months. Doing it now. I love you, dude. Hell yeah, comrade. Nice. Make sure to wash your hands after touching the little fucking mailbox flap, okay? Stay safe. I believe in you. Thank you so much. And I'll consider the convo with Jimmy Snow. I'm just, unfamiliar, largely. They won't stop donating.
Just ignore them.
I can't. I love them.
Well, hi, Artemis.
Artemis been sleeping right behind the camera this whole time. How mad are you guys?
He's in bed.
Love you too, Egg Peggy. Thanks for the $5. Michael with the $5. Thank you.
For sniffing.
Are the measurements of school achievement gaps or IQ gaps inherently racist, or is it systemic racism that produces legitimate gaps in intellect? I don't think it's inherently racist to have differences in school achievement or like measuring people's IQ and distributing them along a bell curve. We just have to recognize that socioeconomic factors massively impact the balance of that curve. That's all we need to do, really. As long as we do that, I don't necessarily have an issue with that. Yes, Joshua Foss, I have every intention of talking about Jimmy Dore sometime in the near future. And Super Ed, thank you so much for €5. And Canadian Socialist for the $5. What would your response be to the argument billionaires deserve all their wealth because they took the risk of starting a business? The fuck does that mean? What is risk? What does risk do? Risk is
donated $100,000.
No. We don't even need the assumption. What is risk? Risk is one component of millions that goes into the success of a business. Labor makes businesses successful every time. What is risk? But workers take risk when they move cities to go to a job, when they hedge their fucking rent payments on the assumption that work is going to work out for them. Risk means nothing. What is it? Also, if you gave a fuck about risk, then what you would do is build an economy that incentivizes entrepreneurship. And right now in our society, with no fucking social safety net and with no guarantees whatsoever or stipends provided by the government, if you take a risk and fuck up, you fucking die. You starve in the streets, motherfucker. Does that sound like a society that incentivizes and rewards risk and entrepreneurship properly? That is not even close.
Have your water. I didn't bring mine.
Yeah, there you go. You don't know this currency, the DKK? Isn't DKK the Danish kroner, right? All right. Time for us to talk about the most pressing issue of the moment, okay? Yo fucking wait, Strophium. It's time. We're here. You gonna keep... You gonna, like, do the thing, like, every 2 minutes?
No.
Okay. I believe in you, okay?
Sorry.
Wait, where's Artemy? Oh, you were blocking him with your giant boobies.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Wait, can you get him for me?
Sure, he's just sleeping. I was just kissing him.
Strophium, thank you so much for the $20. You earned this for the dual debate reckoning. How'd you and Destiny end up with such similar debate cadence and styles, by the way? Also, you're a cutie. Thank you. Destiny and I have similar rhetorical styles because after I got my content started, he grew up being like a prominent chatter in my community. And, and after years of just appearing on my streams, Destiny's been streaming for a decade. I watched him for pretty much all of that. I got a lot of my rhetorical skill from watching him. We were similar because I learned from him. As cringe as that sounds, but I'm fine with my origins. You were sleeping, you are lazy, and you do not pay rent. Work for your pay. Beep.
Hi, Army.
Beep. Beep. He's so sleepy. Here. Lazy. You are made of soup.
Does he smell?
No. Baby. Can you see yourself? You're looking directly at your own reflection.
You're showing his holes.
Beans. Yeah.
He doesn't even know what any of this means.
Yeah. Will you lick this foot if I give it to your face?
Make him. Make him. Make him.
He doesn't want to. He says he's already clean.
Ah.
All right.
No, you give him back to me. He was napping. Come here. Sorry Ian bothered you.
All right, we're back. Hello. Does he pass the mirror test? No, I don't think so. Mills, thank you for the baby rent. I really appreciate that, and so does he. We're not evicting him today. And thank you, Terra Staller.
Late.
Okay. It is time for us to finally talk about the issue of the hour. Maybe, Dominic. The issue of the hour. What the fuck is going on with the goddamn moon? The witches hexed the moon, and now the moon is angry.
That's why we have COVID.
The moon witches. That's certainly why we haven't recovered from COVID.
Yeah.
I see people in side chat haven't seen the relevant Twitter thread. I don't know what's going on exactly. There are people on Twitter right now. It's this big, tens of thousands of likes, this big Twitter thread where people are talking about how a bunch of amateur witches hex the moon and now, like, the world rocks in anticipation of the moon goddess's wrath or something.
No, they did not just hex the moon. They also hexed the Fae.
Oh, and the Fae. They hex the Fae as well. And they plan on hexing the sun.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to get us on all fronts.
You know, and I was reading this, and it reminded me of a very interesting thing I read a little bit ago. Did you know that a scale was made, a chart, essentially, like a test, to determine an individual's susceptibility to fascism? And one of the characteristics heavily associated with being susceptible to fascism was a belief in superstition, especially stuff like paganism, Wicca, witchery, that kind of shit. Isn't that interesting? Because normally, when you think about, like, Wicca witchcraft shit, you think of like skinny AFAB people with lots of makeup in college, you know? Who are spending their money that was supposed to go to tuition on books full of dried flower petals. But I think it actually tracks. Ah, gotcha, dumb bunny. Thank you so much for the $10. Sorry to call you out. I think it actually tracks because one of the biggest and most essential components of fascist thought is essentialism. When a person is the way they are, it can't be because of circumstances associated with their upbringing. It has to be something essential to who they are. And that's what horoscopes are. Horoscopes and people who follow them subscribe to the belief that your birthday can in large part determine your personality. Now, I have always thought this to be a tremendously fucked up way of viewing the world, in my personal opinion. Maybe this is my, maybe I'm just too freedom addled. No.
You're gonna get hexed for saying this.
Yeah, okay. Well, they can hex me, all right? Whatever. I don't like essentialism very much. As a sociologist, by which I say as somebody who paid enough money to get a 4-year sociology degree, I did do that. I did pass that threshold. As that person, one of the most important parts of analyzing society is the possession of the sociological imagination. Essentially, believing that any given set of conditions, any given set of social systems are not just there because, but they're there because of a complicated network of overlapping and interconnected social forces that need to be examined to be understood fully. And that there are always forces that you probably can't account for just at first sight. Essentially, the sociological imagination is a rebuttal against intuition and essentialism as concepts. But that is all this horoscope witchcraft bullshit actually is. That's what it means. That's the entirety of those belief systems summed up to a pinch. Essentialism and intuition. You ever seen somebody, have you ever done this experiment? I've done this before. I did this in high school. I'm sure every edgy dude.
Oh no.
Every dude has tried this at least some point. Where somebody runs up to you and they're like, "Oh my God, you must be a Libra." And you're like, "Yeah, how can you tell?" And they're like, "Well, your aura and also this and that." And you're like, "I'm kidding. I was a Scorpio."
That's such an Aquarius thing.
And shut up.
Unironically.
And then they and they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, is it?"
It is.
Please don't delegitimize me by pretending to believe in this shit.
Okay, I'm not pretending to believe, but if there was ever anyone who was an Aquarius, it would be you. I'm just saying.
I lied to you about my birthday. I'm actually Leo.
Then you wouldn't.
We've all been lying. Yeah. You bet you feel real stupid right now, don't you?
No, I'm right.
I was a Leo this entire time.
If anything, you're such an air sign.
I was born in March.
I'm not wrong.
Okay. The point that I'm getting at is that the people who believe in this shit are stupid as fuck. But they're stupid in a fascistic way because the essentialism and the intuition associated with these belief systems are I really like, it makes one very easily susceptible to other like patterns of thought. Now, being susceptible to a horoscope is man, how do I start with this? If you believe the shit you read in a horoscope, you're already kind of like default, if not stupid, at least gullible, because they're deliberately written in a way such that you can read that type of personality into virtually anyone who would fit into that into that purview. There is, of course, absolutely no association between your birthday and your personality whatsoever. There is none. It doesn't exist. Everybody who believes there is an association is falling prey to a number of cognitive biases that have been well studied. So there's really not anything to pull from there. But,
What?
please, what?
But why can't I understand?
Oh, but we'll break up over this. I'm not doing this argument with you over.
I believe in horoscopes like 100% or whatever. But I'm just saying, I think there's a difference between looking at like the general characteristics of something like that and being like, oh, haha, funny, and then like literally downloading an app and like having a daily horoscope that you like follow. You know, I'm just saying, there's a difference.
There's a difference in that one is dumb and one is dumber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not dumb. I'm just saying it's kind of fun. You know, just a little. Why can't you let queer femmes have their fun? That's my issue.
I
Just
take
like economics.
great issue with you associating stupid bullshit with queer femmes.
Okay, but you know. Okay.
All right. I'm not defending any of this. Superstition and deliberate irrationality are bad, no matter how innocuous the forms they take. And if you, just because you're the one who's having fun with it, haha, I don't take it seriously, there will be people in your friend group who do take it seriously, and those people will then go on to not vaccinate their children. So fuck all of it, fuck the entire process, and fuck the multi-million-dollar industry that preys on people's ignorance. Okay.
It's just because I was raised Latin. Okay, my mom raised me on ghost stories. What do you want, man? She believes. It's always that Mexican superstition.
Yeah, do you generally
like 15%.
You generally take after agreeability with your mom when it comes to is it the generally a life pattern you follow?
And she made me paranoid. I don't know what you want. Okay?
All right. Hold on, we're catching up on donos. You fucking degens. We probably missed a bunch. Literally every witch I know is a socialist. Well, that might be because they're all fucking AFAB queers, but the characteristics associated with superstition, I think, track pretty well into fascist patterns of behavior. Also, I don't want to be friends with somebody who thinks that the way I am is a product of my fucking birthday. That's so weird. Thankfully, I know my loving partner doesn't actually believe that. And
okay, but if it was real, you would be like the typical Aquarius man. Okay, I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. You're such an air sign.
You should do this with the races too. That'd be fun too. Listen, I'm not saying there's intrinsic behavior associated with race, but like, you would make such a great Kenyan. Really, wow, you're such a fast runner, and you're speaking to like a fucking West, like African who was brought over in the 1700s on a boat.
You know, and chat knows.
Chat knows that you sound dumb as fuck right now. Okay, that's what chat knows. Session Amaru, thank you for the 100 pesos. Talking from direct interaction from occult-related circles in the left-hand path, they are either anarchists or lefties with no big interest in politics. It's the Abrahamic-based occult that are fasci. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm getting angry now. Hold on. Listen up. You can't control which path you go down if you accept irrationality and superstition as viable ways of interpreting the world, okay? If you accept that you can be convinced by things without the same threshold of evidence-based argumentation, then you can't control where you go from there. If a person accepts, oh yeah, dude, I believe in horoscopes because like the alignment of the stars, you can't convince that person that fucking race souls don't exist. Why? There is probably I could probably concoct a more convincing tale for how people of different races have different types of souls than I could for people having different types of personalities based on their fucking star alignment, okay? If you are willing to adopt that's a pretty big leap. No, it's fucking not. It's not a big leap at all. If you accept an irrational argument in one angle, on one perspective, if you're willing to make an essentialist argument that is completely anti-science, then you will accept other, or you could accept other. Listen, if maybe the witches who are all socialist are the people who believe in deliberate irrationality that ended up lucking down the lefty road, but because of the aesthetics of witchhood, which have always been associated with like a sort of vaguely feminist, like leftist, icon here in the West, and maybe the people who accepted irrationality as a valid way of living their lives, who didn't luck out and down the left road, all became Republicans. Like all of them. There's no way of knowing. You can't know. This is selection bias of the highest order. I'm offended right now. What? This isn't a classroom. I'm doing They raise their hand when they want to talk. It's cute, but what? Can you ask before, like, if you want to be co-host or something?
Okay, do you really want me to stop?
No, I want to ask.
If you really want me to stop, I'll stop after this.
Well, now you made it weird. If you had the good graces to just silently slink off, then it wouldn't have been weird. But now we have a fucking referendum.
No, I'm just trying to be considerate. Okay, Anyway, my point is, witches, OG witches, were usually medicine women who were um, like apothecaries, like people who like actually made poultices, like legitimate stuff, like aloe paste and shit like that, but were persecuted by their towns because they thought they were witches because they didn't understand science. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it from the original. Witches were the OG scientists. I don't care what you say.
They were women. I don't care what happened to them. All right.
I'm right though.
Cannibal Soup, thank you so much for the $5.
Witchcraft.
Thank you so much for the $5. Happy to hear you're not listening to Owen Benjamin anymore. Yeah, I'm not an astrologist. I'm just a horoscope realist. True. Jira guy, thank you so much. Can you describe anarcho-syndicalism or point me towards a previous video that explains that philosophy? Guys, if I have any previous videos, type them in chat. If not, that's like a good long 5 minutes right there. Vosh says only atheists and strict scientists are allowed to be in the left movement. No, only atheists are right. And only people who accept like empiricism and empirical reality are right. You can be in the left movement and be wrong, but it is absolutely... I would generally like to make arguments from... Wait, I'm sorry if I'm ostracizing any religious people here, but like, holy shit, like I'm not going to make defenses for irrationality as a way... When I make arguments in a very, like, I try to get them in a strict, ordered, rational manner. Like, if you want to live your life in a way that doesn't correspond to the principles of, like, empiricism that have dictated the development of all fucking civilized society for the past 400 years, and that's totally okay, and you literally do have a right to do that, but I'm going to be critical of those thought patterns because I think they do demonstrable harm to society. This entire fucking channel is about me criticizing people with belief systems I think are harmful. Why? What? Now we're this? I'm not reading that out loud. You just silently showed that to me for no gain whatsoever.
I just thought it was funny.
Dumb Bunny, thank you for forgiving me with $5 for the religion. I love you. Prism Brush with the incredibly kind $20. As a secular witch myself, I definitely see an overlap of a belief in superstition with fascism/authoritarianism, many witchy groups/people. I'm lucky my circle of witchy friends are all leftists in some way. Keep in mind, not all people who believe in superstition are witchy types. That's going to be a very specific subset of people who believe in the anti-vaxxers also fit within this. The flat earthers also fit within this. Also, fashion. All right, did we do it? Are we back? Are we done being hexed?
I'll try to refresh.
Hello?
Hey, you're back.
There's limits. Yeah. Just you wait. Being hexed. Being hexed. Being hexed. Ow. Hello. I've moved to a less comfortable room. Yo. There's a lot of stuff to carry. How am I going to set this all up? You recognize this room? I bet you do. It's my old studio room. I move around a lot of stuff. How do I set this up? Okay, I think I got it. Hold on. 1 second. Here, Gecko Stream. There you go. Sure, you can see a lot. All right. Okay, that's not right. That's not a good height. Okay, hold on. There's a way to do this. Hold on. Hooah. What is happening? I am moving because the data was not picking up well in the room that I was in. But if I move over here... There we go. Not quite as nice, but it'll do. Hello, welcome back. We're doing it. Whew. Sorry, I was move a lot of stuff. There we go. Oh man. Alrighty. Humphrey Cassell with the incredibly kind $10. What about tarot cards, the form of therapy or personal insight rather than literal fortune telling? Nah, fuck that. Wait, form of therapy? Like you're just gonna do a little fucking magic card trick for people for therapy? No, I'm sorry. Listen, tarot cards are cool for aesthetics, but no. What personal insight do you get from random card draws? I don't believe in superstition. It's just no fun allowed. I'm sorry. Do you not think it's a little bit fucked up that people who might be looking for therapy or life advice would turn towards superstition, and there would be people who would prey on that superstition and profit from their ignorance? It's not a no fun thing. It's about not preying on fucking desperate people. Are you fucking kidding me? No fun. You can have fun if you want. It's totally okay if you want to have fun with tarot cards, but if there's literally hundreds of millions of dollars in an industry designed to prey on the superstition of people who are desperate and don't have proper access to existing resources to make their lives better. So they turn towards superstition, towards palm readings, towards tarot card readings, towards all that bullshit, towards horoscopes in a desperate effort to try and piece their life together. I think it's deeply sad, and for somebody to suggest that that impugning this is no fun is to me like fucked up. Like maybe you didn't consider it from that perspective, but no, no. All right, okay. But if you want to do it for fun, like with your friends or what, go have fun. I still think it's stupid bullshit, but why is it so dark in here? Oh, it's because I have all this light coming in behind me. Damn, I didn't really plan this out. Well, I wasn't in here originally. Okay, anyway, sorry. We got so sidetracked by that. My God. Stephen Falker with the incredibly kind $20. I don't think anyone should or shouldn't believe anything, but I think we can encompass atheism and all beliefs into what people call the ultimate sacred reality when discussing these things. Do LSD, check out India, brah. I don't know what you're referring to. I probably will not be doing any LSD. Check out India? You mean like visit India? Yeah, I mean, maybe one day. Possibly. Bradley Mackey with the 10 Canadian, you're talking about the Foyer effect. Folks all over took the same test, got a generic answer unknowingly, and all cooed over how accurate it was. Yes. There are literally tests done by psychiatric professionals that have shown that if you give people like vague sort of prescriptive answers, then people will people will identify with it to an unreasonable extent. John Oliver did a phenomenal episode on this, talking about psychic readers, where he talked about all the fucking tricks these people do to get gullible, vulnerable people to fork over millions of dollars to talk to their loved ones after death or what have you. He did a really good episode on that. It was good. Jalen White with the incredibly kind. Oh, my name is pronounced Jamie Lynn. You see, I am white. I apologize for that. Love you so much. Also, I'm Kamajak on YouTube sites. Can't wait for you to be back on your computer. I'll be back soon, comrade. Thank you so much for the incredible kindness. I really, really appreciate that. Kindness. How can I convince my conservative Jewish family that Trump is not an ally of the Jewish people? I mean, Trump openly defending and working with neo-Nazis? I don't really know. Trump defends Israel, not Jewish people. If you're an Israeli, then yeah, Trump's probably a good ally, but like Trump literally has I don't know. You people want me to talk about Kanye? My mom started believing in horoscopes and spirituality. Now she believes in all these conspiracy theories and obsessed with aliens. Yeah, Taylor, it's just people go down really sad roads. A lot. It's the same as drugs. To me, spirituality is the same as drugs. Wait, hold on. Disagree with some of your last statements on native sovereignty. Prepare some arguments there. Thank you. Interested. Natalie Jew, thank you so much for the $10. I can't really have any debates right now, but if you email me, I can try to get back to you in a reasonably short time frame. Anyway, it's a lot like drugs. It's really annoying. Like I'll be on stream and I'll say something like drugs can really fuck a person up. Like you need to be careful with drugs. I'd say like drug usage generally is like a pretty bad thing. And people are like, dude, whoa! I would took fucking 8.5 of milligrams psilocybin. It was so fucking rad. I saw past the veil, my dude. Drugs are great. It's an explorative activity, but you don't realize most people's relationships with drugs is really bad. Most people's relationship with drugs isn't occasionally taking psychedelics for therapeutic purposes. Most people's relationship with drugs is fucking slowly dying as you scrape by your life trying to get together enough money to buy your next prescription painkiller like outfit, okay? Most people's relationship with drugs is worrying every day whether or not your like fucking meth habit is going to leave you with enough money to buy your kids pencils to go to school with, okay? Most people's relationship with drugs is not good. Unless we're talking weed. I'd say weed's probably reasonable. Of course, for the most part. And alcohol, I mean, alcohol does like a lot of, so on and so forth. But I think a lot of people just get really naturally defensive when it comes to topics like those. So when they hear criticisms of the subject in general, they immediately jump to their positive experience. And a lot of the people who jump to their positive experiences are actually having negative ones. I've seen people who are like, dude, bro, actually, these drugs are not that bad for you. But then when you talk to them for 5 minutes, they're actually like addicts and they're deeply coping. Have you guys ever had that experience where you're like, oh, this person seems to know a lot about drugs. They've had good experiences. And then you talk to them and they're like, yeah, dude, I light up like 4 times a day. And you realize they're actually like completely fucked. And they're just coping so fucking hard by doing this like fucking run and dance on the internet where they pretend that there's some sort of, like a deific trip sitter who's like coasting their way through life with responsible drug usage. Oh god, oh god. What's your opinion on PewDiePie? PewDiePie is probably just like an alt-right, not like alt-righter, but like kind of on the border, like edgelord who doesn't really understand the consequences of the shit that he says. I'd be more inclined to believe that PewDiePie is just a useful idiot than he is like a malicious actor. Ironically, astrology got my granddad out of religious dogmatism. Unfortunately, he remains staunchly conservative on most issues. Ah, well, can't win them all. SpongeBob Steve, thank you so much for the $20. Do you think spiritual experiences people have on psychedelics are fake? Most former atheists say they're real after tripping. Your brain experiences are real. But that doesn't mean no. The spiritual experiences are not real. Of course not. Well, no. I'll tell you this. Listen, if there was evidence for real spiritual shit in reality, I would need a little bit more compelling evidence than the testimony of people immediately after they take drugs that can deliberately influence people's brain state. Call me a skeptic. I would need some evidence that could be perceived outside of taking chemicals that are literally designed to make you see wacky shit and make you believe wacky shit. Research psychoplastogens? I have no idea what the fuck that is. Sure. Thank you, the One King 23. I really appreciate that resub, comrade. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. Kat, thank you so much for the $5. How should I respond to fellow lefties who say voting is pointless or insist we simply won't be having an election? Wait, there are lefties who say voting is pointless, comma, we won't even be having an election? Like they recognize Trump is such a threat to the planet that he's actually going to make the election illegitimate, but then they still don't think they should be voting? I don't know, smack them? Jesus Christ. My girlfriend's family still believes in mediums. Ah, well, what are you going to do? Did you ever hear about Lemuria and the weird shit around Mount Shasta where you were down in Cali? No, Ryan Wallace, I have no idea what you're referring to. Sorry, comrade. And Tara Stoller with the $10. I don't think it's the drugs, I think it's the economic reality of drug use under capitalism combined with the lack of accessibility to other coping mechanisms like therapy. In a vacuum, drugs are fine. I still disagree with that. I think you could have a perfect society and there would still be tons of people who would just, because the way your dopamine receptors work makes you fundamentally susceptible to the influence of drugs. Like it's not just like in the apps. It's people don't just turn to drug abuse when they're if their life is going poorly. There are plenty of wealthy actualized people who still turn towards it. There are tons of factors that can lead people to have irresponsible relationship with drugs. Joe Bojan with the incredibly kind 20 R's. No idea what those are. Hey, Vosh, you and other lefty YouTubers helped me escape almost becoming an alt-writer to becoming a comrade. Thank you so much and keep doing the good work. My pleasure, comrade. Thank you. And I'm really happy to hear that you're with us now, comrade. Okay, we got 2 more donos, then we're talking about Yeezy, okay? Session Amaro with the 100 pesos. You're doing the communism has never worked, but for spirituality? Oh no, Session Amaro, please don't be a dumb fuck. From not knowing the subject and not wanting to read, but I forgive you for the sake of left unity. We'll never bring the subject up again. Okay, don't bring the subject up again. There was no evidence anywhere in the world to legitimize the idea of the immaterial, because if it could be legitimized, it wouldn't be immaterial. Please don't. Please don't do that, Session tomorrow. What do you mean doing the communism has never worked? I don't know. Jesus Christ. I kind of ship you with Mr. Atheist. Josh Shipper, sure, whatever works for you, comrade. Don't know what this person looks like, but I'm sure they're a wonderful partner. Duncan Caleb with a very kind 15. My friends and I argue about astrology a lot. One thinks it's fun. The two of us thinks it's messed up to place personality traits on someone based on birth. Can someone explain to me what the difference is between placing personality traits based on someone's birth and based on a birthday and somebody's race? Can somebody explain to me what the difference is morally? Is it literally just the existence of social pressure to go behind it? I'm just imagining like the wokest, like witchiest, the witchiest like fascist state where like the Capricorns and the Scorpios are led into the fucking slave mines to be whipped because of their inferior personalities, where we have a caste system, stratified. Yeah, it's just really weird. Just don't. Everybody's personality, everything is born out of an incredibly complex a combination of genetic and environmental traits that we can't fully account for, and for that reason everyone should be treated as a blank slate. To essentialize people's personality traits based on some fucking gobbledygook horseshit, really fucking weird. I don't like it. It just really doesn't sit with me well. Gobbledygook. I'm sorry I said that. How convenient all the prophets in religious texts had visions nobody else saw. Now their beliefs continue to affect how people think today. Yeah, Pimpstress, we can't do the edgy like atheist. We can't do the new atheism arc, okay? We can't do it. We can't do it, folks, okay? It's too much. We can't. Gutter Baby with the incredibly kind 10 Australian. Did you see Count Dankula's video on his second channel where he outright denied the severity of COVID-19 and alluded to believing in alt-right, what was that? Alt-right deep state conspiracy theories? Whoa, no way. Count Dankula is an alt-righter? Whoa, that's astonishing. I couldn't have intuited that from all of his humor being, what if I just sounded like an alt-righter and all my audience sounded like alt-righters, and then there was no punchline. And now every time I tweet, it's something that ends up fundamentally supporting conservative positions. And the only time I'll ever do the I'm a liberal bit is when, in between me regurgitating alt-right talking points and alt-right talking points, I'll occasionally say, oh yeah, well, I want my gay friends to be able to defend their marijuana farms with their AR-15s. And then he'll like smile at you and give you like 2 thumbs up, like he's done it. He's like undone. Poop funny lol haha. Thank you very much for the $5. Feel like some people have too lax a view on weed, which can lead to abuse. You're right. We're being too easy on the weed users. 80% of you fuckers right here who smoke weed regularly have an abusive relationship with that drug. You smoke it too fucking much. You use it to cope with your shitty fucking existence because you don't want to put in the work to feel better on your own. I have your fucking number. I see you living behind the fucking internet forum posts where you get to cope. Oh, weed's not addictive. There's nothing wrong with. Nah, I see right through you, motherfucker. Okay, I see you. Constantly smoking. I see you, motherfuckers. Vosh, it's not chemically addictive. Who cares? It can be psychologically addictive. Bleh. Can't mute the mic. Ah, mustache hair. Fuck me. Everything is addictive. Shut up. Yeah, true. Very true. Jimmy Snow, SLPS the shit out of right-wing skeptics. I have no idea what SLPS means, Brutus Magnuson, but thank you. I'll keep that in mind. That's probably a good thing. There are so many people right now in my chat who are mad as fuck. Don't gatekeep coping mechanisms. Therapy is expensive. You can't outwoke me. Are you serious right now? Are you seriously being like, dude, it's classist to point out addiction? Dude, it's maybe it's classist to point out opiate addiction. True. I mean, what other alternative do they have? Proper physical therapy is expensive. That's an excellent way of going through life. Let's never call out things that are bad unless the individuals who are susceptible to that bad thing are capable of affording a thing that is better for them. Jesus Christ. Also, weed isn't therapy. It's therapy maybe for physical symptoms. It's not therapy for emotional symptoms. Maybe in some marginal cases. In my experience, like seeing people who use weed to cope with their emotional issues, it doesn't improve it in any way, shape, or form. They're just deliriously stupefying themselves from one moment of distraction to the next moment of distraction. It's as much a medication as sleep is. Like, sure, you've like numbed yourself to the psychological condition, but you're not actually treating it. You're not living without it. You're just numbing yourself to it. Can I please do a live stream in Kanye font from Twitter? Maybe. Listen, we'll talk about Kanye. Weren't we supposed to talk about Kanye already? Thank you, Maxwell, for the £5. All right. Jesus Christ. Weed needs to be sold like alcohol. Doesn't weed have more strict restrictions on it than alcohol? I mean, I agree. Alcohol is much more destructive than weed. The fact that we can get, alcohol at any street corner, but weed, you have to, do the shit you have to do here. Like, obviously, but alcohol is significantly more destructive, I think, than marijuana is. Does Kanye really deserve to be talked about, honestly? Yes, as a matter of fact, he does. Guys, can you answer for me? When did Kanye go crazy? I'm genuinely asking. What for you? Give me a range. When did Kanye fucking lose it? Does anyone know? He always has been. I feel like it was when his mom died. When did his mom die? What time? Does anyone know the year? $2008, thereabouts. Yeah, it's pretty wacky. Pretty wacky. He did a show in Sacramento and lost it. I think I heard about that. Kanye is a really interesting reminder to me of how little of an association there is between merit, power, prestige, and mental stability. It's just, I know this is such a hacked out talking point, but it's actually crazy. We have this myth in our society that people who are powerful have it all like put together, and that's the reason why they're able to rise to the heights that they are. That is not even remotely the case. People in power are fucking lunatics. I think to be in power and to be stable is actually quite a rarity. But Kanye has really, I don't know if this is still going on. When I started this live stream, Kanye was doing some press conference. He already dropped out of the presidential race. I don't know what he's going on about. But he had like, he started running around. He didn't even have a microphone. He was just running around on stage proselytizing. He was doing his own little Sermon on the Mount. It's over? Okay, so it's done now. Okay. It was really weird. I caught as much of it as I could. He didn't drop out. He dropped out. I'm getting conflicting info on whether or not he dropped out. I'm pretty sure he dropped out.
Or he can't continue. Of course he can't continue. He can't be president. But he was losing it. He was losing it. It was crazy. I'd never seen. Well, I've seen him act pretty unhinged before, and I'm not some sort of. I don't really have like a particularly good mind for celebrity nonsense, so I don't have a huge beat on what he's up to at any given point in time. But man, Kanye was. Fuck me! I wish I had my fucking computer. I would just show you guys. But he was just running around. It seemed like he was having a breakdown. He was talking about Jesus. There was one bit where he choked so hard that the audience laughed at him. It was really wild. Like everyone knew they were listening to a crazy man, you know? Yeah, he was saying something like, what did he say? It was something like, and I understand that when a woman's been raped, she would want to get a divorce or or do, well, hold on, wait, um, a an abortion or something like that. Don't do the voice. Was that black voice to you? You people fucking suck. I can do impressions of everyone but black people. You people are the racists. Fuck you. I do impressions of everyone that I try to replicate. That wasn't even a fucking black voice. That wasn't even close to a black voice. I could do a black voice, but I'm not doing a black voice. That wasn't a black voice. Yeah, fuck you. You're all the real racists. Not me. You're the real racists. That was reverse racism what you just did, okay? And I want all of you to think about it and to be sorry. I want you to apologize, okay? Did you see he said that abortion clinics were placed by white supremacists? Yeah, because hasn't he well, yeah, because he's like a conservative. He's bought into the like abortion clinics are black genocide thing, you know, because abortion clinics abort a lot of black babies, you know, right? That's Hotep logic. It's actually a pretty common conservative talking point. White conservatives will say it and then they'll like giggle because white conservatives want to see black people dead. But then they'll be like, if you really value black lives, what about the 28 billion who are aborted every year at Planned Parenthood? But when black conservatives say it, I think they're doing it a little bit more. Well, I can't say sincerely because any black conservative in this country has to be a grifter or fucking insane. But, you know. I mean, Kanye is a Christian, right? He's had his whole religious arc. Wasn't his last album all just fucking gospel music? Right? That's true, right? Neocom, thanks to the tier 1 sub. My goodness. True, Brutus Magnuson. Yeah. Hey, Radical Reviewer, my friend. I was into Kursky vid and Addiction at Rat Park, but apparently that video is full of problems. Thought on that / legalize all drugs crowd. I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm generally in favor of like the decriminalization of drugs for, because it seems to help people, you know, with their addiction and with medical recovery. But there's a lot of data out there on that. Like, I would need to look more into it. I don't know what the issues are with the Kursky vid. When you email me next, could you give me some info on that? Be interested in looking into it. Anyway, I didn't actually listen to any of Kanye's album. I have never listened to any Kanye music. In fact, I have never seen Kanye. I've heard that he's black. But it seemed, at least from the reception I saw to his most recent album, that his recent departure into, you know, Christian hymns, like this seems to be a reflection of a pretty legitimate mind state, you know? Like it's not just some weird fad thing. It seems like he's actually like going for it. Do an album reaction. If only YouTube Content ID wouldn't immediately snatch me up. That'd fucking suck. The only thing I knew Kanye for before 2016, the only thing I knew was when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people back in 100 years ago. And then he wore a MAGA hat during the Trump presidency. I don't really know. Glorious Killjoy, thanks to tier 1 sub, comrade. And I don't really know what has to happen between A and B. I know his mom died in between then and there, but that's weird. I don't know what like it was. Yeah, it was after Katrina. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, and it's true because Bush didn't care about black people. I mean that tracks. That makes sense. I just don't really know what he was doing there. The Kardashians happened. Why do you think all of this has been like a manufactured ploy by the Kardashians to make a bunch of money off the media spectacle surrounding his like degenerative mental breakdown? Wouldn't Kanye be an example of someone turning to religion then being moved to more insane positions? I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't know enough about Kanye to be 100% confident about the timeline there. But didn't he go like super religious uh and then he did that? Wait. A Jew for you with the $10. Mike wants to debate. This is a Twitch clip. Oh, hold on. I have to hear this. Hold on, folks. Kanye said Harriet Tubman was selling slaves plus never freed them. Kanye is literally insane. It's almost a disservice to him to be hearing out his ramblings because we're placing a lot of weight on his moronic bullshit. Hold on, wait. I have to hear this.
If Vosh wants to have a hostile debate or a friendly conversation, I'm up for either one, my dude. Either one, anytime. I prefer friendly conversations and hashing out disagreement. But if you're all about the blood sports for the clout, we can do that too. I'll let you decide which one.
Okay.
I think you and Vosh can get along. I absolutely 100% agree with that.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll see how that goes, I suppose. There we go. Who dis? That's redacted from redacted. Oh shit. The Life of Pablo album was a gospel R&B album, yes, but his most recent album that came out after that was just nothing but religious fanatic garbage. Ah, I see. Wait, so he's done 2 religious albums? You have to forgive me. I really don't know much about celebrities. I saw his campaign event earlier today and it was fucking crazy. Did you see the moron David Pacman's take on Barry Weiss resigning? He said she was a respectable journalist and did good work for the Jews. Thoughts? David Pacman is useful in that he is not a fascist, but I wouldn't trust him for much beyond that. David Pacman has had some real wacky takes. Wasn't Barry Weiss? I'm trying to remember Barry Weiss. Wasn't Barry Weiss that bitch who posted the picture of that Olympic like medalist and was like, finally, immigrants are showing it up at the Olympics, and it wasn't an immigrant. It was just like an Asian person who lived in America or whatever, like an Asian American. And then Barry Weiss, everyone was like, "Hey, Barry Weiss, you fucked up," and Barry Weiss was like, no, you fucked up. By immigrant, I mean." That I meant that you fucked up. This is like a journalist. That was really weird. Also, Barry Rice wrote that weird fucking gigantic fucking bitch boy letter about how freedom and civility and proper discourse was no longer being respected at the New York Times, but Barry Weiss couldn't list a single example. Yeah. Gotcha, Brian Chu. If only I listened to music. He got plastic surgery, got addicted to painkillers, and found God. Has he had plastic surgery? Did he need it? I thought he looked fine. Kim and his first child were kidnapped and threatened with a gun in 2016. That accelerated his descent into madness. When was Kim kidnapped? Okay, wow, man. Celebrity stuff sure does happen quickly. Holy shit. Madfrodite with the incredibly kind $10. Hey, Vosh, want to ask, how can I work on my interpersonal skills so I can organize locally better? I live in the suburbs, if that is any help. Work on my interpersonal skills. I don't really know. I don't do much stuff in person, to be perfectly honest. I don't really have much in the way of advice. I would actually suggest you join my Discord server and talk to some of the people there. There are people there with legitimate IRL organizing experience, and I think they'd be able to give better advice. I'm good at public speaking, but in terms of like... actual on the ground organizing, that's not something I have a ton of experience with. Born to Ready with a very kind $10. Barry Weiss cut her teeth getting teachers fired from her college for being anti-Israel. Yeah, Barry Weiss was the cancel culture. Barry Weiss is one of those people who will find people who have said something critical of Israel and then try to get them fired, right? And then for Barry Weiss to have the audacity to run away from her position and say that it was because she wasn't being respected and civil discourse wasn't being obeyed or whatever. Jesus Christ. No, Barry Weiss is a huge piece of shit. I really wish that I could talk about this more with you guys, but I have the feeling my audience is really young and you guys only really care about conservatives insofar as like Sargon of Akkad is concerned. Or like Tim Pool, you know? But I'd like to cover some more of the IDW or mainstream press stuff as well. What's happening with the studio anyway? Oh, we're just moving it from room to room, but we're waiting on internet resetup. I know for a fact that if I did a segment on like Weinstein, most of the people here would not know who I'm talking about or give a shit. Yes, we would. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I know what you people are like. No, not Harvey Weinstein. Eric Weinstein. Oh. Oh my god, I need to blow my nose so badly. I didn't realize. Holy shit. I'm ducking out. I'm ducking out. I get sniffly. Yeah. Fuck all of you. Yeah, it's COVID, okay? I'm dying. That's the actual reason I'm here. We disassembled my studio because I'm not going to need it in the afterlife. You know how it works. Eric Weinstein is an interesting character. Did I say Eric Weinstein when I meant Brett Weinstein? I'm really sorry. Listen, a lot of Weinsteins around these days. What was I saying? Opinion on Nuri Turkle being a Fox News contributor. I can't click that link, Jason Parippa. I'm really sorry, comrade. I don't know. My opinion is that it's bad. Yeah, both of them are assholes. All these IDW crowds. Kanye said on TMZ that slavery was a choice. I saw that one, Big G. I remember seeing that one. That was a wacky one right there. Elar, thank you so much for the 50 kroner. I really appreciate that. I'm happy you enjoy my content in that way. Hold on. Can we talk about these people? I am so sick of these fucking degenerates. I am so sick of these ghouls, these IDW ghouls, these people who, on one hand, are obsessive about silencing criticism against them, but on the other hand, are the first people to bemoan the death of civility in public discourse the moment anyone criticizes them for their beliefs. There are people who will use freedom of speech as a cudgel to attack people who are trying to criticize their attacks on freedom of speech. You remember, who was that one columnist who called the other person a bedbug? Remind me? Help me out here. Help me out here, you dipshits. I know one of you knows who this is. The bedbug person. The person who was called a bedbug. Brett Steffens, thank you, Brett Steffens. Yeah, didn't call someone, was called by someone. Yeah, Brett Steffens, thank you very, very much, comrade. Brett was a columnist, so obsessed with silencing criticism against him that after he was called a bedbug by some nobody on Twitter, sincerely, this was a tweet that had like 8 likes. Brett, a columnist, a journalist, a person with legitimate power and prestige, found that tweet and responded to it saying essentially, "Wow, you would really call me a bedbug, wouldn't you? How uncivil, how uncouth in this free marketplace of ideas for you to sink to the level of the ad hom. I wonder what your employers would think about your scandalous attack on my well-being. It was insane. It was insane. What is a bed bug? It literally just means like an annoying gnat. This isn't like, it's not a slur or anything to that effect. And this person, yes, this person has a Pulitzer. This person has legitimate power. This person went on to write an entire column about their victimization by that Twitter nobody, and they ended up stirring such a ruckus in their attempt to get somebody else fired for calling them a bedbug that the president of the United States made fun of them for it. Trump tweeted about it. It was hilarious. It really, really was. But it speaks to a broader issue because there are a lot of people in the intellectual dark web, and the Brett Weinstein, I think, perhaps engages in this most recently. I think he's engaged with this to the most heinous extent. There is a pattern of these people fastidiously working to the bone to defend what they consider to be freedom of speech, free and civil discourse. What they actually defend is, of course, freedom from criticism. Because when people criticize them, they are the most aggressively litigious motherfuckers on earth. Does anyone know the full details of what recently happened vis-a-vis the Majority Report? Who was it who signed on to that Harper letter who then tried to get the producer for the Majority Report fired? Does anyone remember that? This person signed a letter, the Harper letter, on how the Harper letter, that was the one we went over on stream. The Harper letter, which was all about, how we oppose Trump, but civil discourse is being crunched down on by the left. Right after signing that letter, it was one of the Weinsteins. It was Eric? Eric. Then threatened to sue the producer of the Majority Report, tried to get Matt Lech fired. That's right, Matt Lech, who tweeted about me 2 days ago saying my take on class reductionism was lacking. I dab on you both. But by far the greater villain in here is Eric. No, it was Brett. Let's just say it was both of them. Sort of like a chimeric hybrid of both brothers. The issue is that the people who are so active in defending the free marketplace of ideas are very rarely people actually interested in the promotion of free and civil discourse. I know this is a cold take for my channel. It's not exactly like I haven't said this before, but, there was a Zoom call that was held between some of the people who signed the Harper letter, and I think one of the people who drafted it, where they said they actually refused to get Glenn Greenwald onto the letter because they didn't like him. It was Brett? Okay, it was Brett Weinstein. This letter, which was all about getting all these massive figures together to sign off on them, to reaffirm the importance of fair and open discourse in a society increasingly gripped by authoritarianism and by censoriousness. These people who drafted the letter actively went out of their way to avoid getting certain people's signatures on that letter. And it has become increasingly clear to me that that letter was not, by anyone involved in its drafting, actually a sincere defense of freedom of speech, but rather a cynical attempt of defending its signees from criticism, who are looking to, I think in large part, piggyback off the authenticity given to them by the signature of Chomsky. I grow increasingly confident of this every single time I learn more about what's going on behind the scenes of the Harper letter. Chomsky signed it, and Chomsky is, of course, legendary academic, one of the most cited academics in all of human history, unbelievably influential individual, and he signs it because Chomsky has seen his fellow professors, his leftist professors during the Cold War, censored and thrown out of academic departments because of the discourse of the time, and he lent that letter credibility that would not have existed otherwise, because the rest of the people who signed that letter, while not all of them bad, many of them are people who are just subject to frequent criticism for the stupid bullshit they say. And this is why I'm so critical or so cynical of people who claim to defend free speech. What does it mean to defend free speech exactly? Because every time I see a person defend free speech, they're out here defending. We'll go back to Count Dankula, for example. Count Dankula often acts like a sort of vanguard of free speech in his public in his public platforms, because Count Dankula was assigned a rather hefty fine following his little pug Nazi salute bullshit. And that's great. I think that fine is bullshit. I don't think the government should be able to fine you for doing edgy Nazi bullshit. I don't. But then, do these people ever actually speak up for people actually exercising their freedom of speech? Ever? What about BLM? What about the protesters who have been brutalized by police in this country? What about now the stormtroopers who are marching into Portland and unnamed and seizing peaceful protesters, driving them around in unmarked vans, taking their identification, then tossing them out on the curb? Do these people ever speak up on this issue? On these issues? Of course not. They never do and they never will. Because to them, freedom of speech is nothing more than a cynical tool to alleviate them of criticism for their shitty opinions. And that's why, and I want to be, and this is my standard moving forward, perfectly clear right here. Anyone who claims to be in support of free speech, who does not openly condemn the behavior of the American police over the past couple of months, in addition to the behavior of the United States Department of Homeland Security federal police protester abductions. Anybody who does this, these people are anti-free speech. They do not care about free speech. Their concerns, their claims are utterly irrelevant. They are literally in favor of Sturmtruppen, of secrets, the secret police. They are in favor of black bagging political enemies. So again, and that's the line we can draw. Anybody who claims to believe in free speech but does not condemn this does not believe in free speech. And I think that if we look at the majority of the behaviors of people who consider themselves staunch defenders of free speech on the right, you will find very few of them openly condemning the behavior of the police. As I said in my last stream, if any one of the people watching this stream were to be abducted by those police, shot in the back of the head, and dumped out onto the sidewalk, they would invent every conceivable justification for your execution. They would allow rumors to fester on message boards about how you probably possessed a weapon going into that with no evidence provided, and they would do everything in their power to condemn everyone not only associated with the protest from which you were picked up, but also everyone who defended you. They have no interest in your constitutional rights. You have no interest, they have no interest, in the fundamental principles of the First Amendment. And for that reason, they should be treated accordingly as what they are, as people who are anti-free speech, as people who are anti-freedom of expression, are people who are anti-freedom of assembly, of people who are meekly and subserviently kowtowing to whatever system of authority they think has finally justly superseded the law of this land. But I am not a coward and I am not an authoritarian, so I do not join them in that. All right, that's enough rambling on that. Doesn't Brett Weinstein think gender is biological? Yeah, probably. I mean, that seems like something Brett Weinstein would probably believe. I missed a few donos there because, as I so acutely warned you before, they only stay on screen for just a little bit while I'm doing the phone streams. I'm really sorry if I missed any donations. I love you. All right, I'm chill now. Hello. Don't forget to check out Benjamin Boyst's channel sometimes. He's a gateway figure in the IDW sphere. Please make sure to email me. Can you run for president after Joe Biden? No, that's okay. Welfare in the stream title? Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that, but I'll just talk about that tomorrow. Was the Harper letter that bad? Yeah. The Harper letter was a pretty cynical attempt to obfuscate any criticisms of existing media figures by sort of vague posting about the state of online discourse. In reality, people are freer to express their opinions now than they ever have been in all of history, especially online. People who in this environment are vague posting about cancel culture are probably people who are looking for an opportunity to delegitimize any criticisms of them preemptively. If we want to have a conversation about cancel culture, this is a very much an inter-community thing. This is like in a community, like in an environment, like in a contained bubble, we can have that conversation. But for giant media figures to be having this conversation, for fucking journalists to be talking about this, what are you talking about? My God. How bad of a person is Destiny? Another debate? Why would I debate Destiny and how good of a person he is? I don't care how good of a person Destiny is. Maxwell, thank you for the £5. How do we still advocate democracy when the effects of advertisements, fake news, etc. are so blatant on both sides? I don't. Because the alternative is not any better. Even dictatorships rely, at least in part, on the mandate of the masses, and any dictator in America would invariably end up producing worse results than a democratically elected leader, if for no other reason than because we have checks and balances within a democracy that we do not necessarily have within an authoritarian system. So we push on for democracy and we try to fix the broken American mind. Whatever we can do. Vosh, still doing the human titty milk cheese ethical co-op? Yeah, for sure. Just let me raise enough starting capital here with my YouTube outfit, huh? The U.S. is an oligarchy, it's not a democracy. It's both. It's all gradients. Who are some good Dems to vote for in 2020? Every single one on your ballot sheet. Every last one of them. When you go to vote, everyone with a fucking D next to their name. That's the good Dem to vote for. Thoughts on Kyle Kalinske and his politics? Kyle Kalinske has done a lot of good, moving people over to the left, an enormous amount. He also helped found the Justice Dems. Unfortunately, I think that Kyle Kalinske often slips into fervent and sometimes borderline conspiratorial populism, which can lead him to make some arguments that I think are harmful, in my humble opinion. Do your best soy face? No, that's okay. There are enough pics of me out there. Can you speak on gun control? That's another stream. Ferdinand Yoldashev with the $10. Beethoven was a based musician. Probably true. Probably. Can I ask why you don't like Obama? Because he was just another flaccid neolib who got virtually nothing done during his presidency, and who took advantage of the American Democratic Party's or the constituency's interest in a progressive candidate, and then turned out to be just a pretty boilerplate guy, you know? Mention all that deportation nonsense, the expansion of powers and ICE, you know, the droner-in-chief. Thanks, J1. Freddie Van Niekerk with the 80 czar. Thank you. Hey, Vosh, been a fan of you since a month ago. Are you familiar with anything regarding South Africa or South African politics? Much love from South Africa. Not really, no. South Africa is a pretty complicated country. The only time I ever really took to learning about South Africa was to try and confirm the veracity of the claims of the alt-righters who were saying that all the fucking black people in South Africa were rising up and slaughtering the white people. Of course, it was complete bullshit. There was just a number of, you know, conflicts that had been boiling over for decades that fell along ethnic lines. But the idea that this was you know, the first step of white genocide in South Africa was, of course, completely false. But, you know. Russell Gilchrist, thank you for the $5. How to change QAnon on minds. Family is on board. I was once awful. Trauma was the only thing that caused me to deconstruct. I don't know, comrade. You've been a QAnon believer. What changed your mind? Trauma? Maybe you have to traumatize your family. I don't know. It's not easy to move people over on conspiracism, unfortunately. It's actually quite difficult. President Trump refuses to say whether he will accept election results during recent interview with Chris Wallace. Wow, no way. Donald Trump is threatening to delegitimize the results of the upcoming election. The thing every authoritarian does when they feel their grasp on power is slipping. God, I hope he fucks up and the Pentagon has to remove him from office. Holy shit. Can you imagine the chest tightening thrill of hearing that the military would be responding to his unwillingness to leave office? Whew, that's what would happen. Get Steinfield with a very kind $10. At the moment, do you believe the right have the political upper hand at the moment? I fear Trump will have a second term. Thoughts? It really depends on how effectively Trump manages to rig the election and whether or not the Supreme Court uphold. It'll really come down to like the Trump is going to try to rig the election. People are going to challenge it. It'll go to the Supreme Court, and we'll be relying on the Supreme Court to rule in our favor. That's probably like what is looking is going to happen. We either win or Trump has to win through election meddling. So we'll have to see. How about Biden falling on his face during the debate? Biden did pretty well in his debate versus Sanders, and Sanders is a lot smarter than Trump. Nigel Fratello, I am a big fan of puffins. Those are my thoughts on them, comrade. Thank you for asking. Did I catch Roger Stone's racist outburst? What do you think the spin will be? I haven't. I mean, I've looked at it, but I haven't talked about it. I want to do it all when my computer's back, so I can show you guys. Michael Narrow, thanks to the $5. I don't really know who Second Thought is, so I'm afraid I have no thoughts on him at the moment. Brutus Magnuson with the $5. Lauren Southern murdered Syrian refugees by preventing them from landing into the Greek shores, possibly drowning several families. Is it confirmed that Lauren Southern's interference led to the death of refugees? I don't know if it's actually confirmed that that happened. But I mean, but that still is the thing that she did. So, you know, what are you gonna do? Can't believe YouTube still lets her on. Adam Flores, the $15. Thank you. Do you think American passports having the current power of a Sri Lankan passport? Do you think this signals the influence that is dying of the superpower that is the United States, COVID related? Oh, you mean we have no power whatsoever because no countries will take any American citizens? Yeah, it's pretty funny to see our like global relevance decline so much. Americans are. It's actually like funny, like kind of a funny turnaround because you know here in America we've always considered like Indian, Chinese, and Arab people like really dirty, like just kind of culturally we've thought that. But now we're objectively plague bearers more so than any other people on Earth. So now we get to it's the reverse Uno card. Now we get to swap around with the respective stereotypes. Yeah, we're plague rats. We're Skaven now, buddy. COVID. Love you too, Ferdiv Yildashev. Oh, Ajax, they probably will make a serious effort to rig it. No denying that. What's the worst, best thing to come out of the Trump presidency? The best thing is BLM, I think. His response kind of legitimized BLM tremendously, I would say. As for the worst thing, I think the worst thing hasn't happened yet. The worst thing hasn't happened yet. We'll get there. Yikes with the $5. Why is Pizzagate considered right wing? Because Pizzagate was 100% controlled by right wingers. They would only talk about Soros and Hillary Clinton and Obama and shit like that. If Pizzagate was, and also conspiracism will always trend towards the right because the right is stupider than us. If Pizzagate was just broadly about like, just generally speaking about like pedophiles in power, then everyone would be behind that. It's like how everyone believes Epstein didn't kill himself. Like that's completely bipartisan. Nobody thinks that he killed himself. That's completely across the board bipartisan. Because it's about one pedophile in one position of power who had ties to every political party, you know? But if you get more partisan than that, then things split back. Alex, there is a chance the military backs Trump, but I sincerely doubt it. The higher ups in the military are generally like born out of efficiency and a gruff like defense of America. I think that most like maybe this sounds like really kind of like the veneration of patriarchy to me, but I think like a man's man who served this country for like 45 years, who knows what strength is, knows what weakness is, and wants to see America strong, probably could tell that Trump is a weak man. I feel like the kinds of people I would expect to be in positions of power in the Pentagon probably wouldn't have much respect for Trump, who's like a little fucking like failed businessman New York dandy who just like kind of stuttered his way into the presidency and fucking bone spurred his way out of the military. I have a feeling that these people in the Pentagon probably don't have a huge degree of loyalty for Trump. They also swore their oath to the Constitution, not to the presidency, so we'll have to see. I'll be ready for him, Nigel. Thank you very much, comrade. Bert Not Bert with a very, very, very kind $10. Watching your channel the last month or three has really helped me define what my beliefs are, which helps when discussing politics with others. Enjoy your work, sir. Thanks. Thank you. I hear that a lot from people, that listening to me helps people come to understand the things they believe. And I think that's very important, and I'm happy to be in a position where I can do that for people. An idea, guy, if Trump loses, we're going to do a 24-hour Biden celebration stream. Vosh, there's a podcast about you now? Oh, no. New episode of Low Society Pod is out. Have some class. Oh my God, look! Dude, look! Angie Speaks, who is definitely not extremely mad all the time about my very light criticism of her, apparently did a Low Society Pod episode where they made they made the header for it the old drawing I did of myself, the one that used to be on my Patreon. See? Vosh, you're famous. Yeah, I'm being featured by people with like 1/10 the relevance. Copyright infringement, get him? Yeah, uh-oh. Making money off my intellectual property. Felix Hernandez, thank you for the $10. What are your thoughts on Max Blumenthal? I'm afraid I don't know who that is, comrade. I apologize. I come off so ignorant. So many people ask me for my opinions on this or that. But, to be honest, without a Google tab open next to me, my perceived omniscience is subverted pretty significantly. Jay with the incredibly generous $5 wait, I'm sorry, not $5, $25 donation. Thank you so much, comrade. This is my first time donating to any streamer. I don't know how this works. I'm 15. Oh my God, that's quite a bit for a 15-year-old. And for the past 2 years or so, I've been educating myself as much as I can on politics and current events. It all started because of you. Thank you so much, Vosh. Holy shit. Well, I wasn't even around 2 years ago. I wasn't even alive. I'm 1.5 years old. But thank you. That's radical. Well, I take great pride in having an audience full of young people. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to relate to people and to find people who are interested when they're young. Thank you so much, comrade. I really appreciate it. And you absolutely nailed the donation, okay? You did a great job. Liquid's back with $5. If you ever get tired of debating Nazis, I can have a chat with you, even though it'd be an agreeable chat. Sorry, comrade. I may be tired of debating Nazis, but there are still plenty of other types I'm interested in debating. You can send me an email if you want to debate, but no promises. Marshall Tito. Can you tell my girlfriend Savannah she's beautiful and she's doing great? Also, channel growth is nutty. Yeah, the channel growth is still getting like 1,000 subs a day, even though I'm not posting anything. Yeah, Savannah, you're beautiful, I guess, and you're doing a great job. Okay, I don't know what you look like. I'm sure you're wonderful. Listen, I can using the horoscopes. I have determined through space science that in accountance with the numerology of your partner's donation, that you're probably a great person. Okay, there we go. We brought it back around. We made it thematically relevant. SpongeBob Steve with the $10. Do you think right wingers will try to hack voting machines and change tallies? I don't know if they're going to do that specifically. In some states, they will, though, because in some states, I think voting machines are pretty susceptible to influence like that. I don't know if that's something that they're going to do across the board, but it's definitely a possibility. They will be doing things similar to that, if nothing else. Yeah, because I can talk about that in a future stream. Thank you for the $5. Brett with the $10. Mike from Redacted is pretty knowledgeable about electoral politics and IRL organizing. How is he worse for the left than someone like Destiny who argues against basic Demsoc policies like Medicare for all? Brett, I love you and I love your $10, but I don't want to turn this into like a lefty drama shit-talking stream. My impression of Redacted based on the content that I've seen from him has left me feeling cold, to say the least. Not for his lack of interest in leftism or anything like that, but just because I think he's like insanely toxic. And at times dishonest. No, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like bad faith dishonest. But like we don't need to revel in it. Maybe Mike from PA has gotten less so. And if that's the case, then maybe we can have a positive conversation. I'm positive like that. Will anime be the true cure for toxic masculinity? Joseph Guy, have you seen anime fans? No, it's not working. Kay again, thank you so much for the $5. Really happy to hear you're enjoying the content. Recommend other YouTubers to help me self-educate. I'd say Three Arrows and Philosophy Tube are a really good way of like getting like the material and the immaterial settled when it comes to furthering your understanding, and then from that point you can branch out from there. I think those are two really really good channels to start with, in my humble opinion. Sean does a lot of good like culture war oriented stuff, but that's I think a little more like specific. Cody Morgan with the $5. As a veteran, we are Constitution first. The military holds no loyalty to any individual. They 1,000,000% remove anyone that tries to subvert it. That's the hope, Cody Morgan. It's like they said in 1984. In the military, efficiency must reign, past the point where it needn't in other elements of society. So hopefully they will adopt efficiency over partisanship. Hey, guys, what do you think the likelihood is that before the end of the of his term, Trump starts talking about disloyalty in the military and talks about the necessity of signing a new oath to new patriot soldiers who are most loyal to the United States? What do you think the odds are? Oh man. Can't wait. Ah, Comrade Anthony, happy belated birthday. Very, very happy belated birthday. Kelly Vinyl with a very kind $10. I'm an old girl, but you helped me take my emotions out of debate. It's a real struggle for me, but I'm learning. Thank you, Vosh. Old girl. Do you mean you're like 80? You don't look 80 in your fucking YouTube picture. Probably not much older than me. Well, one way or another, thank you very much, comrade. I really appreciate that. I try my best, you know? It's very, very, very important, I think, for every left leaning person to be effective in communicating their ideas to others, because times are getting increasingly scary and we need to be ready to defend ourselves. And the easiest way to defend ourselves is to make sure we have people by our side. Hold on. God, help me. Why am I so sniffly all the time? Why? It must be allergies. Ugh. Help me. I don't even have the dignity of being able to mute my microphone while I blow my nose. Jesus Christ. I saw people in the comments for the last stream video making jokes that I was doing cocaine, which I thought was a little bit funny. Is the effect of conspiracy theories on politics different from the effects of religion? Oscar C, yes. I think that religion trends people towards dignity in a way that conspiracism doesn't. Now, the two overlap significantly. I think that conspiracism is almost always a negative force, whereas religion will occasionally incline people towards positive outcomes. In my personal opinion, maybe that could be me being too optimistic. There are a lot of people who believe in Jesus Christ, like whatever, as savior, and these are fine, decent, upstanding people. But I don't know anyone who believes in QAnon who is morally defensible. Seems like there's just a greater tier of harm. Oh, well, thank you, Pale Piney. Get Stanfield with the incredibly kind $20. Thank you. Hey, Vosh, trying not to be a doomer, but do you fear it'll take irreparable damage due to climate change for people to unify politically, regardless of those political differences? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. No, because we're not going to unify politically. Only a small portion of the human population is going to make it out into the top of whatever world emerges out of the climate change that we're going to experience over the next century. We're not going to unite at any point. The population of the human race is probably going to decline significantly following changes in the geography of this planet over the next 30, 40, 50 and so years. No, so it's not going to be a matter of uniting. It's going to be a matter of making sure the kindest people possible win so we can build a better world for the survivors. If the cruelest people win, whatever society emerges from our post-climate catastrophe is going to be an ethno-state or some deeply fascist, eco-fascist hellhole. If the good people win, it'll still be miserable, but at least we'll have the ideological sort of foundations to build a better world from that. No dooming. It's not doomering. That's just true. That's what's going to happen, in my humble opinion. Oh God, I'm missing donuts. I'm sorry. Aromatic, thank you so much for the £5. What's your email? voshvidya@gmail.com. Yeah, send me the party report. I'll try to take a look at it if I can. James Barron, yes, I do. I have seen some more news. I think it's a lovely channel. It's pretty goofy. It's a goofball channel, but I like it quite a bit. I do. Kelly Vinyl with a very kind $10. I'm in my you're the lady. I'm in my early 40s. Good genes and lots of spinach. Ha. Oh well, shit. I hope I look that good in my early 40s. Jesus. Did the thing just freeze for a second? I just got the low battery notification. We good? I don't know. Yeah, it did? Okay. TJ, I will try and keep it up. Thank you very much. Fiore's Yoldashev with the $10. Thank you. Vosh, doesn't it seem like there's a high chance of an evil person who is religious? Would they still be evil if they were not religious? Asking sincerely. I'm generally of the opinion that for most people, religion is just a legitimizing force that allows them to feel better about whatever it is they already wanted to do. That evil people will still be evil, with religion being used to justify that, and that good people will be good just with religion being used to justify that. The issue is, I think that the greatest good a human can do can be justified without religion, but there are many great evils that can only be justified irrationally, and religion has to be used for those things. I'm a favor of next generation, Lorzens. My humble opinion. Just my opinion. Nick Sam with the $5. Are you familiar with longevity escape velocity? The first 1,000-year-old is probably only 10 years younger than the first 150-year-old. Yeah, I've heard of it. Like how, for all we know, the first immortals could be walking among us because the people young enough to, like, the younger than us today might be alive around for, whatever for whatever immortality pill we're going to make. I want to know what you think that's so much more radical than him. Well, Skillet Quizzo, Pac-Man is a liberal. I'm an anarchist. I believe in the dissolution of the state, the abolition of private property, the demolition of the commodity form. So I'm definitely more radical than Pac-Man. But if you want me to criticize some of his ideas, being radical doesn't necessarily make you better. I'm not saying that distinguishes from me in a positive sense, though I would argue it would be. Nazis are more radical than Pac-Man too, after all. But yeah, I mean, if you want me to be more critical of him, I can take a look. I've seen a rise of tanky types on TikTok. Should I even care? Ian Young, don't pay attention to the tankies on TikTok. They've all been put there by the CCP. The Grass Ninja with the incredibly kind $10. My friend believes in the JQ. What should I do? I don't know how to argue with conspiracism, my dude. If a person dives into conspiracy theory, there's rarely something that can be done. In my experience, but you know them better than me. I recently did a video, how to pull someone out of the alt-right. That video contains all the information I'll ever have on the subject. Hey, Tree Smoke. Love you too, buddy. And Comrade Anthony with $5. That's the plot of a utopian sci-fi book idea. I had global warming and war essentially killed most people off. The only surviving nation was socialist. We can only hope. Oh, Huron Thalson with the $5. Vosh and Philosophy Tube, leftist unity, chill stream win. Philosophy Tube hasn't even fucking followed me on Twitter. I wouldn't get too excited about that. All right, listen up, folks. I love you all so much. We keep these quick phone streams keep getting longer and longer, but this is long enough for me. I really appreciate you tuning in. I would go crazy if I couldn't be streaming during these incredibly difficult times. I'm really happy to have you here with me. Yeah, just remember, we really are living out. Really are living out the warning period. We're living out the interlude between the good times and the fall right now. We are rapidly approaching any number of catastrophes, which can only be navigated, I think, by people of our intellectual and ideological predilection. The world is getting scarier with every passing day. China grows more powerful. as it continues to clamp down on the democratic and civil rights of its constituents. India has fallen near fully to fascism. Hungary and Poland are also succumbing more overtly, perhaps, to fascism. And America today, we now see the beginning of the Sturmtruppen, of black-garbed soldiers marching through the streets, unidentifiable, snatching protesters and driving them through to unrecognizable rented vans. An unaccountable federal agency controlled only by the Trump administration, for which there does not seem to be sufficient bipartisan support to meaningfully address or do away with. And the only remedy to everything that is happening right now here in this country and out abroad is the strength, perseverance, and tenacity of us. We are the only people who can fix this. And if we are lucky, we will be the ringleaders of this country's and this planet's salvations. There are other people who are good people who do not agree with us in every issue. And while they may be instrumental in making the world a better place, I am personally of the opinion that it is only through the advocacy of progressive socialism that we can meaningfully address these issues. And for that reason, I sincerely hope all of you live wonderful, productive, and happy lives, because that's step number one to being a good advocate, motherfucker. You got to take care of yourself. So make sure to take care of you. Why are there people saying LARP? Jesus Christ. All right, fine. You know, okay, yeah, fine, okay. I was just trying to be a little inspirational. Fine, you know what? Okay, whatever. The world sucks. Maybe you'll get good. Maybe you won't. Sorry, love you. All right, goodbye.